In life is that people are the X factor. They constantly surprise us, both in amazing ways and not so much. We're Ben and Syya, and welcome to the Non This Business Bites podcast. This show is all about real life things we all deal with every day, how they relate to business, and how to make some sense out of our daily chaos. Welcome to the show. And welcome back to another episode of Non This Business Bites. I'm Ben and this is Syya. And here's a question for everybody. What is up with everybody in ChatGPT? But seriously, it's amazing to me how everybody, and I mean everybody, has become an AI expert in the last 6 months. It is amazing to me how everybody seems to know everything. They're all sitting there giving advice. People are becoming ChatGPT consultants. You're seeing it all over LinkedIn. And it's a little bit of, you know what? I know 30 seconds more of information than you do. So therefore, I'm going to be there, going to be the trainer, and I'm going to be the consultant. We need to sit there and take a breath, people. ChatGPT, like everything else, is a tool. That's all it is. It may be a pretty cool tool, but when we think about it and we think about what it can do and what it can't do, it's not going to make our lives completely different. It's not going to take over the world. We're not looking at Sarah Connor and the rise of the machines, everybody. Your job is safe. We need to take a breath. We need to step back and we need to realize what it is, what it isn't, what it can do, what it can't do. And I'd love to chew on this. So, Syya, over to you.
Full disclosure and plug. I do have a limited series run that I'm doing with a buddy of mine, Jonas Bull. It's called Chats Among Us, and it's all things AI and bots and chat, if you will. And he's a technologist, and I obviously have a background in technology. So our perspective is, I think, more on the tech side of things. But I'm right there with you. As far as no, it does not mean it's ushering the rise of Skynet was I think what you were looking for. However, there are ramifications though of it where I think it can lead to it, but not in the way that people I think is it going to be. Okay, so let me clarify. I think it's a great tool for certain
Yes.
purposes. I think automation, right? If you can automate certain mundane tasks that really just is it's not good for the human soul anyway, right? Like, standard data entry where you're like, okay, I have to put in ones and twos and threes and copy and paste. I can see where that would be tedious. And if we can leverage someone's brain and skill sets for something else, I'm all for it. Where I'm concerned about and where I am critical of the concept that's coming up here and out is I am seeing these marketers say, and now you don't, if you're not a good writer, then you can use, Chat GPT or GPT-4, Bard, blah, 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 all the different platforms out there. And they're going to write your own bio for you, or they're going to write your novel for you, or they're going to write your admittance letter to colleges for you. That's where I draw the line because fundamentally, it's a great tool to maybe help you edit down, pare down, or if you want to edit down something that makes it more your unique voice. But I don't think as humans, one of the few things that separates us in the animal kingdom is our complex language system and our ability to communicate complex thoughts, emotions, concepts,
Absolutely.
etc. That's where I'm like, okay, guys, why do you want to give away the one thing that really makes us human to a machine because you are inherently lazy? I'll say it.
Thank you. It is. It's pure laziness. I mean, I'll tell you a story, and I'll protect the names to, you know, defend people. One of my good friends hired a content writer, and she looked at it, and she started looking at the first couple articles, and she goes, "Okay, maybe it's the first couple articles. This person doesn't have my voice. It's a little banal. It's a little boring. It's just, there's just no life to this." So she went back and she had a conversation with people and she showed concrete examples about where this was and this was, and this is far more my voice and this is what I'm looking for, doing that their thing. And three more articles came back and they were just as banal and just as boring and just as stupid. And she said, okay, enough is enough. And she went out and she went and there's a ChatGPT auditor. And there's some online, I can't remember what the name of it. I'll try to get the name for people. But what it does is it goes there and it says, what's the likelihood chance that this was produced by ChatGPT? And all 5 articles came back at 95 to 98%. Now, she put in articles that she wrote just to be on the safe side to make sure that, hey, wait a second here, before I go accusing somebody, her articles came back at 3 to 5%. And this person was charging them 4 hours worth of work for every article that they were produced. They were putting in a keyword search and say, produce a 250 word or 500 word or 1,000 word essay on X. And that's what they were coming up, and we're charging for this. And the thing is that you lose the humanity of writing in that particular case. You lose what differentiates you, what makes you interesting, what makes you passionate, what makes you unique when you're using these things. It's a great idea generation. Hey, listen, I've sat there myself and said, give me 10 ideas of what women between 35 and 45 are concerned with today. Okay, great. Now I'll go and write articles on that. Here's an article I wrote. Suggest 5 different subject lines for this email. And what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll modify it based on what it says. I'm never going to take it as it is, but I'm going to say, hey, that one's pretty good. Let's do something with this. It's a great way to create ideas. It's a great way for, as you said, repetitive task, things. It's a great way to do, to learn. Some people, friends of mine, are playing D&D using ChatGPT, and they're loving it because it's an amalgamator. It takes the best of all the games and amalgamates them. But you're still only getting a compilation of ideas that have come before, and there's nothing that has that human idea and that human differentiation when you're dealing with trying to pass off ChatGPT as your own.
Yeah, so all these bots, right? Like, so I think it's a slippery slope, right? As they
Yes.
say. I can see where, and I know it. Whenever I get on these like websites and they're like a chat window pops up, "Hi, how can I help you?" Right? Like, I actually don't mind that it's a bot in the initial component because it needs to like differentiate. Like, how do you route me? How do you route me to the right place where I need to go? I'm cool with that. What it bothers me is like even on LinkedIn, I'm getting these like bots first off messages, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can tell it's a bot because the way the reply back is so they try to be conversational sounding. So they're learning. It's learning. They're all learning. They're all getting better over time, right? But here's the question that's fundamental. If you want a copywriter, uh, or a bot machine, whatever tool to use to post your social media and create posts on your behalf, and then you're now engaging on it with people, are they really getting to know you? Because now I'm seeing they're using bots to do the engagement for you because people don't have time for social media. People, they're doing it because that is what our culture is shifting towards. So my fundamental question, everybody in the audience,
Well, it's what's
is,
fast. It's what's fast and easy. Yeah.
but are you really getting to know someone? Are you really connecting the way we all talk about authenticity? Is this authentic?
And I would say no. I would say that absolutely no, it's not authentic. It's not real. Let's go back to the chatbot situation. You're right. The first 3, 4, 5 questions that routes me into the right location, great. No problem. I'll deal with the chatbot. I know it's a chatbot. It's not trying to be anything but a chatbot. But when it tries to do too much, when it tries to answer questions and be conversational and answer things that it has absolutely no idea of how to do, and the answers are trite and benign, and you're going, no, not that, this, no, not that, this, and it's really time to deal with a human being, a great chat GPT or a great bot of any type thing will kick out and say, hey, listen, would you like to speak to a human being who can help you? Great. Hey, say, let me take the conversation that we've already had. Let me upload it to the human being so they have an idea. Let me give them some suggestions of ideas of what we think it is, and then you can go from there. So that way, there's that smooth transition from bot to human being, and I think we can do the same thing with social media. You can post on LinkedIn using a chatbot, There's nothing wrong with that. If you've created the posts, if they're your posts and they're not auto-generated by a chatbot, but you're just using it to the bot to actually post them, great. But as long as you're listening to the post, as long as you're responding to the post, as long as you're the one engaging with the posts, there's no problem. It becomes a tool, and as you said, it's a shortcut. It's a way to make the trite and repetitive tasks easier, but it shouldn't be a way to replace our humanity.
No. Yeah. I mean, like, yes, 100%. So, this goes even further, right? So when you think about AI generated anything, so there's this huge hullabaloo article I read. And again, when I say huge, it only if you care about the Instagram world, okay? But that being said, there was a hullabaloo about a photographer that would post like amazing pictures, and finally he came out and said, yeah, these were 100% AI generated pictures that everyone's raving and calling me the next big thing, and I worry a little bit because now we've said this before and we've talked about this. ChatGPT is nothing new. It's just another tool that maybe might be more publicly available, less elitist or ivory tower type stuff, but it is, you know, deep fake. We've talked about this before,
Yeah,
right? So, I
absolutely.
mean, literally, I think this whole thing is really how much are we willing as humans, willing to accept knowing that we're not talking to a real thing, right? That the deep fakes of, making us look like other celebrities in movies. And, there's someone that does that all the time. And, or, just making up a humanoid, right? And it's just, again, y-
And the
you're
question is that a generational thing? Like I'm abhorred by it. My mother would be apoplectic about it. But the thing is the question is a Gen Z, an 18, 19, 21-year-old, so they're like, oh, that's the next generation. Okay, that's the next new technology. Okay, that way I don't have to deal with a human being. I can get my stuff answered. I can have it happen 24 hours a day. I can get the information at my fingertips, and I don't need to be bothered by a human being. And there's some attraction to some generation. I mean, that's going to be obviously something else we're going to know about, but it comes down to, are we wanting to be human to human and be able to actually have that information exchange and ideation with a human being, or do we just want the information and we don't care about the people behind it?
Okay. I think we can keep going on this, and I'd like to. I think we probably need to put a stopper because you're about to make me like go off on this because
Well, I think we'll talk about that on a whole new episode. So let's leave it there. I'm Ben.
I'm Sia.
We'll see you soon.
Hey, hey, hey! Thanks for listening to another episode of Not on This Business Bites. If you liked what you heard, we most humbly ask that you like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to communicate more effectively within your organization, contact Ben at yourbrandmarketing.com or me at brilliantbeammedia.com. We can help you build your community, brand awareness, and personality through digital content and podcasting. We cannot wait to hear from you. So see you next week for another episode of Not on This Business Bites.